Last time we spoke, you were really happy with the camp, and I don't even think in your wildest dreams you could have thought that Madison Square Garden was going to, I'm not going to say easy because it's never easy fighting a #6 fighter, but did you dream it was going to end like that so soon?
No, I like I said, I normally am confident we'll win, but never sure of what fashion we're going to win, whether it's going to be a long fight or a short fight. So for it to happen like that, yeah, I was a little bit surprised because I thought the fight would go long and we might get a stoppage, but it would be quite late. So for it to finish suddenly like that, I was a bit surprised, to be honest.
I suppose it's hard to evaluate, but do you think Israel could have done that in his maybe second fight, or is he just improving step by step by step every time he goes in the cage?
He's definitely improving on the some of the positional stuff and some of the wrestling defense. He's definitely improving. So he could have done that in his first fight, but the missing piece of the puzzle was the familiarity under pressure, because the actual moves and sequences he knows. He knows how to defend this and do this and go to the next position. He knows how to do that. But it was recalling that in the heat of the moment. That's the part that's missing. So the knowledge is there. It's just bringing it up and really fast automatically. That's the part that's coming through now. The knowledge has always been there. He can wrestle and defend takedowns, and he can do that in the gym. He's been doing that for years before we got to the UFC already. It's already there, but the process in the brain that goes on wasn't quite up to par, and now he's doing that. And that's just a result of just working in the training camps under pressure, because we've got to fight, and the fight experience. That's what that's a result of.
Madison Square Garden, that would have been a big thrill for you. You know, it's the home, and you didn't get very long to enjoy the victory because you had another mission while you were over there too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a little bit of a boxing historian, so I know a little bit about the history of boxing and the history boxing has with Madison Square Garden. And so, if you asked me if I would ever take a fighter to Madison Square Garden, even 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, then I never would have thought I'd be walking, you know, into those hallowed grounds with a fighter. And now Israel's, you know, part of a very small but privileged group of fighters that have fought there, and an even smaller group when you think about New Zealanders that have had the privilege of fighting at Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
And then you were pretty much on a plane and you were gone.
And then, yeah, and so, yeah, straight after Israel's fight, I flew down into the Deontay Wilder camp.
How far is that away?
It does all up about 5 hours. Yeah, 2 flights. I had to get 2 domestic flights down to a place called Tuscaloosa, which is in Alabama. But I flew to another city and then drove to Tuscaloosa, straight into the Deontay Wilder camp, who's training to fight Tyson Fury. And they're hiring Junior to be one of the chief sparring partners for Deontay Wilder, obviously because Junior's big, athletic, fast, so he you know, fits a lot of the criteria that they need for a sparring partner who's for someone who's fighting Tyson Fury. So I flew down there and had a look at that training camp and caught up with Junior and made sure he was also training for his fight on the Joseph Parker undercard. So yeah.
Did it surprise you that they wanted you to go there, like the sparring partners, trainers to go there? Because that seems like a really good thing to happen. You know, you get to see them do it, but you've still got control over your own fighter.
Yeah, but they're very they knew a lot about Junior, so they do their research. They study Junior a lot. They make sure that they have the right sparring partners in there for the job, and I think they also, in studying Junior, they also have a look at his camp and stuff and whether he'll fit the bill, because they're quite a tight-knit team, and sometimes boxers have big personalities, and Deontay's got a big personality, and you need all those personalities to kind of be together and not be like this. So they do a bit of study in terms of that and getting the right people in. Normally the trainers aren't invited, but for them, that works for them. So all the sparring partners, or a lot of them, had their trainers with them. And for Junior, for us, it worked out perfect, because Junior actually has a fight that he needs to train for himself, as well as doing his rounds with Deontay Wilder. He has to do his own everyday training with a trainer. So for us, it worked out perfect, because he can be over there helping Deontay Wilder, getting a little bit of pocket money for Christmas, and training for his own fight on the Joseph Parker undercard. Junior also works better when he's isolated from his distractions. So he quite often, even when he's fighting in New Zealand, he'll go and live with Doug for 2 or 3 weeks out from his fight. He'll live with Doug and separate himself from his friends and family, and use that isolation to motivate himself and train harder. So it was perfect for him. Yeah.
I'm only going off photos that I've seen of him, but he looked like he's this trimmed up as since he become ill, basically. Is that fair comment?
Yep. Yeah. He's trimmed up, and but most importantly, it's like night and day now. Like now when I had questions when some of his performances, and I'm not talking about the performances in the ring, I'm talking about the performance in training, were questionable in my mind. Now it's like night and day. Now he's doing what I thought he was capable of doing, but for one or another reason I couldn't get the performances out of him that I needed to, and a lot of the stuff we do. But now I can see, like, now he's able to do that. So that condition that he had was quite serious in terms of affecting endurance. It was quite serious, and now I hope, because the real test will be the fight, because you can do we can do remarkable in training and still not do remarkable in the fight. So the true test will be the fight and the result we get in the fight. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And you've also got a really busy schedule coming up with fights all around the world.
Yeah. I think first up is Kai, who's been training up a storm for a while now, but I'm happy with him. I'm happy with how we slowed him down at the right time and then picked him up again, because that was always the difficult thing with him, because actually we've been doing that for almost going on 2 years now, like building him up for a fight, thinking we have to stay at a certain level of fitness because he might get the call up, and then realizing that's not coming, and then pulling him back, and then realizing that he could potentially get another call up, and then building him up again. And now we have a set date and opponent, and it's just, for us it's like, it's almost like a privilege. Yeah, it's almost like a bonus. So I'm happy with how we slowed him down, and I'm happy we've picked him up just at the right time, because right now he's really near peaking. Yeah.
And you've got Alex, you're helping out with Alex.
Yep. Yeah, so after that BJ's fighting actually, so I've got to fly to Melbourne. He's got a really important fight in his career, because BJ's was on a 6-fight win streak, and then he lost a couple of fights, and in that win streak he had beaten some of the best guys in the region, and now for him, him being a little bit older, he's got one good solid run to do it again. So he's fighting another guy just like him, who was like being talked about or on the verge of being in the UFC, and then that guy lost. So now it's 2 guys that have both lost after being on the verge of being in the UFC, and now they're looking to build their careers up, and it's a perfect match for those 2 guys to career-defining fight for both of them to move on to see if they can do it again. And then Volkanovski's coming over to New Zealand, as he likes to do. That fight's, and that's the New Year's Eve card on 29th. That's John Jones versus Gustafsson. He's on the undercard to that, fighting Chad Mendes, so another top-rated guy. So it's full on. And in between that, Dan's fighting as well, which I forgot to mention, which is the one that I can't make because I'll be in Ireland at one of the young fighters at one of the young fighters' weddings. But that'll be. And I've been saying that you know how you look at the crowd reactions when they're at the bar and someone turns a camera around and watches the crowd. I've been a little bit saying that I want to be a part of that, but also knowing that I can't be a part of that because it's more important for me to be at the fight. But yeah, it's going to be a lot different to me because I'll be in Ireland watching that fight, so I don't even know what sort of emotions are going to go through me, but it's going to be a lot different to what I've had during the previous years, that's for sure. So I might put a camera on myself for you just to see what's going on. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for talking to us once again, Eugene. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Brilliant. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Busy.
Good. Yeah, it'll be a bit.
It'll be strange. I'm telling you, it'll be really strange. Yeah. It'll be really strange. I know. Cool. Yeah, me and Tristan will be watching that fight. I think we'll be nervous wrecks, to be honest. I reckon we will.